improving. Through the first 8 minutes, they were still at least hanging in there with Team Solo Mid. They weren't falling behind right off the bat like other teams have.
So we'll let the start of the draft play itself out a little bit. I want to talk a bit about what do NRG need to change if they want to get into the series? Like, what is the difference between TSM and NRG when we get in game? How is it that TSM?
They need to not lose the early game. Vainglory got 2 full jungle rotations from Lightning T's backs in the early game, and that allowed him to get ahead in damage and items, and which allowed them to snowball. And they got the first turret at the 8-minute mark or 7-minute mark. Then they got the second turret at the, I think, 8-minute mark. It was kind of insane, the early game pressure that TSM put on them.
Well, moving over to the draft then, it is going to be Grump Drop banned by TSM as per usual, but NRG taking away the Vox. They do not want to allow Best Chuck to get onto that one, but I mean,
Baron.
He didn't have Vox last time, and Baron is available. There we go. First pick of the day. We've seen that banned every single other game.
Yeah, it's the first time Baron's gone through, and now NRG can look for a Grace if they want to. The protection she offers can be very strong. If you see someone about to get bursted down, once Baron uses jump jets, use your benediction onto him, provide your allies with that directional shield that will absorb a good amount of that damage. It's just going to be a matter of if they can build a composition around that and still make it work with the execution that they need.
Certainly.
Oh, they're going to pick Lyra instead of Grace here, which could work, because Lyra can portal onto Baron and cause a lot of mayhem with her bulwark there. So they need to ban Grace here. They need to ban Grace and not give a healer over to Baron.
Yeah, I feel like if Grace gets through here, then that's all she wrote. It is going to be banned. Thank goodness for NRG right there. They are going to ban that one away. Taking away Grace and Vox. So good bans from NRG. We'll see how they can finish out their composition to try and go against the powerhouse that is Baron. But Glaive taken off the board.
Yeah, Glaive going to be taken away from Team Solo Mid. One of the heroes that can get into Baron's face and disrupt what he's going to be trying to do. He's very squishy, very easy target through the early game if you can get onto him. So I like the ban, making sure that that's one of those strong counters in the early game to the Baron. They obviously are going to be wanting to play this Baron that gets ramped up very quickly. Idris is actually a really good pick as well, because again, Idris is a hero that wants to get onto a squishy target and just nuke them, blow them up in an instant with his empowered attack from using his dash.
Yeah, absolutely. And also takes it away from Best Chuck NA. That's what we saw him playing last game. The Vox taken away as well. Obviously, he's going to be on Baron, so I think he's okay.
Taken away from him when he's already got Baron.
Yeah, but at least they've got that power pick on their side.
I think here there's Koshka or Baptiste are probably the best options here, and then Koshka Adagio or Baptiste Adagio would work. Yep, they're going Koshka Adagio, and boom, that's a really strong early game composition because it's Koshka with the healer. This is the OP combo in jungle that Armada actually ran at Worlds that dominated everybody.
Yeah, definitely. You can really get away with a lot with this kind of composition. You can be very aggressive and still not really be punished too heavily because of the sustain that Adagio will bring and the extra damage he can offer.
Yeah, that early game pressure is going to be massive. And again, we talked about wanting to get this Baron online early. Akashka with an Adagio jumping in onto the lane, onto very likely what will be this Idris. They can find early kills by taking advantage of those very early power spikes.
Well, we'll see what NRG are going to do to try and answer this early aggression as they look towards their final pick. Just 12 seconds on the clock, so they've got to come to a conclusion shortly. They've got 2 very powerful picks so far, and we'll see how they round out.
If they can play Baptiste, they should pick it here, but instead they're going to go with the Samuel, and that's actually not bad. Koshka Adagio is a little stronger in the early game, though, against Samuel Lyra. But Samuel Lyra is going to scale more heavily in the late game. But then they're going to face a Baron. So this is really kind of an even matchup. But I think TSM is definitely going to snowball this early game here.
Okay, so when we look at the compositions, I want you guys to speak some words of hope to me for NRG. What can they do with this composition that might net them a win?
Be very careful at level 1 in the jungle. Wait for Samuel to be level 2. Once he's level 2, then they can try and contest Team Solo Mid. Even though Koshka is very strong, Samuel's level 2 power spike is massive. If you can find an early kill, steal away some of the jungle, then perhaps you could start to build yourself up a little bit of an edge.
Suijay?
Counter rotate. You can't really fight Koshka or try to contest. She's going to last hit over you. So they got to be very careful with the rotations because if Koshka catches off Samuel off guard like Vainglory did last game against Blackfeather with his Kestrel, then NRG's in trouble.
Okay, so got to be very careful in this early game. It is going to be all about not allowing this Koshka to run away with things. Let us know who you are supporting. Hashtag Vainglory8. Let us know on Twitter. But without further ado, it's time to get on into this game. TSM up against NRG.
Well, that's right. TSM up against NRG. And this should be a pretty good matchup here. I like the draft that NRG has put together. Scoundrel. And since Munchible's talking about Twitter stuff, I had Best Chuck in the lobby talking about his Twitter. He said he's pretty active, looking for some more followers as well. So I don't know. He wanted that shout out. I gave it to him. So he can get out there. He's actually pretty funny. Follow that guy.
Yeah, I like Best Chuck. He's a good guy. I like watching his stream as well. Very informative. Good plays all around. Guys, just go and follow a bit of Best Chuck.
Flash! Are you... No, Flash playing some games over here. That's Lightning T that's going to grab his mid, but that is 3-man for NRG up against Flash X, pretty much just single-handedly being a nuisance. This means Vonsi is going to get a clean, easy rotation once again, and Best Chuck gets his pretty much first wave just free of charge, just really no fear for him, which means that Koshka's going to move over with level advantage, and this could be scary here in a second. Flash! Flash takes the back trans. Oh, NRG.
I mean, let's look at this from what Flash has done in every single game so far. He takes the aggressive move to guarantee Von C middle Treon, and also a pretty clear path in the early jungle. Also prevents Samuel from hitting level 2 easily, and now it's a level 1 Samuel going up against Von C's Koshka who is level 2. Let's see if this pans out.
Yeah, that's not working too good for you there, Lightning T. And, well, he's going to go back. Now, see, Tasty Bacon and Sweet J were saying that NRG should play with a little fear in the first couple levels. So you got no fear up against much fear. Currently, it's not really working out for NRG.
Well, again, this is all because of Flash X's ability to just single-handedly somehow prevent NRG from responding, and they lose out early level 2 on the jungler, which is so important for a jungler like Samuel, because you want to exploit the fact his level 2 is just so good. By Flash X making that move, and not dying, obviously.
But it's Juan Hernandez down in the jungle. He's out by himself, and Von C's lighting him up. Look at that Shroud step buying time. Jukes Von C through the brush. Such calculated mechanical plays by Juan right here. He will go down though. Not the first, the second kill over here for TSM. 2.5 minutes in, falling apart.
Yeah, absolutely, and it all stems back to that early game from Flash. Again, Von C having the level advantage over Samuel. Samuel's not level 2. Von C has great dueling potential with the movement speed that he gets from Koshka. Shredded Lightning T alive, and he just face-checked into Von C as well. You have to expect that Von C's going to move into your jungle after the start that Flash X gave him. And look at the response from NRG. They are just trying to put pressure onto Best Chuck here. He might even go down.
Yeah, he's down. Drop that aggro, bruh. Lightning T. Gonna drop that aggro, he's getting out of there, but Von C is trading with Juan. Can we have the same play on the reverse side of the map? Von C, he's in there, but this time Bradley's there as well. What's the play? Oh, Von C is just like, I run about 3,000 miles per hour. Ooh! Eats the turret shot. Bradley's basics as well, and gets himself out of there. A little bit different story on that side.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point again, NRG have just lost their jungle, so they are just trying to look to put pressure on somewhere else, which happens to be in the lane. They've got good siege, they've got the Samuel and the Idris. It's going to give them the potential to put pressure onto Best Chuck very early on. But by continuing pressure in the jungle, Best Chuck is by sort of the way that the NRG are going to respond. He's either going to be given a bit more of a free laning phase, or they're just going to give Von C a massive advantage by letting him have free roam in the jungle. So this is a great start for TSM. I don't see many ways that they can throw this at this point in time, because Samuel hasn't got off to the start that he would have wanted, and Von C can continue to pressure him out in the jungle, and that's the case that it is here. These backs are about as far as Lightning T feels capable of going. Everything else seems to be Von C's territory.
You are not that talented of a throw artist if you can't imagine how they could throw this one. I could think of many ways that we could throw this game right here, right now.
I need to do a stint on your team, Humanist, just so I can learn the real art of the throw.
I mean, honestly, I think that's where winning begins. Like, when you know what it takes to throw a game, you know what it takes to win the game. A beautiful throw can't come without knowing the capabilities of a win. Currently, though, NRG actually doing okay in this moment, as they kind of are able to get a little bit of poke out onto Best Chuck and Flash. Now, Flash is going to get that heal. He wanted to be able to splash that Gift of Fire so that he could get that energy regen up. Not the case on this go-around, but that's okay for him. Best Chuck getting most of the last hits. Lightning T in that Drifting Dark plus the Mouse Inverted, connecting. Respectable damage, but not really threatening too much. And this whole time, we have Hwan Z in the jungle here on his Koshka, and he's going to take the backs. He did his pretty much, well, no, he skipped his mid and his fronts to go ahead and take the full rotation from NRG because I guess he realizes NRG is too scared to drop down there.
Well, that's exactly it, Humanist. You've hit the nail on the head. NRG do not want to go into their own jungle because Vonsi has just got that level of lead. It's a 2-level advantage over Lightning T. I mean, Lightning T has just hit level 5, but it was 2 at the time. They have their advantages in lane. They have their advantages to group up in lane, use their range advantage over TSM, and try and put pressure onto Best Chuck NA early on. That's where they could potentially find a way back into this game. There's no way right now that Samuel duels Vonsi in the jungle. Vonsi is just too far ahead. That's why he's gone after Shock so early as well, because he's just now going to shred through targets. Here we go.
Yummy Catnip Frenzy is going to come out. Bright Borg, not enough to stop that off. And
What
he just got
the hell?
melted, brother. Not much to say about that one.
That was a quick kill.
That was a quick kill. Let's see if they get another one. Turn this around and just slap TSM in the face. Who does that? So much disrespect, just diving in like that. You guys know that there's a turret there? This is Juan Hernandez you're dealing with. Weapon Idris, and he's starting to actually get some items. Best Chuck, Joe. Though, just throwing out these attacks. And this is going to get so much scarier as time goes on. As Chuck gets a little more range on his basic attacks with that ultimate, and he gets a little more weapon power. It's actually, I'm really scared for NRG. Bradley, Bradley is the guy that has to attempt to be a front line for this team, and he just can't do anything right now. TSM bears down onto the turret as NRG doing their best to try and defend. Juan taking a lot of damage on the front side of this fight, just burning down. Bradley will have his fountain coming up here just a second, though.
Lightning T's also gone for the Frostburn here that gives them the control of these team fights. Again, the only way NRG comes out on top here is by trying to use their range in this mid game where SJKNA hasn't got a huge amount of points in his C abilities, so still is stuck at a sort of a medium length range for Baron as far as it goes, and they have that range over Koshka. They try and use that Frostburn to dissuade her from engaging. You feel like there's going to be a very short-lived period where NRG can use that advantage, and oh God, all of these games today have been won from the jungle, Humanist. Every game that we've seen has just been won from an early game jungle dominance.
And that's why I only play jungle, you know? That's basically, you live or die by the jungle, Kiernan.
Do you know what? I can't agree with you because I don't play jungle. In fact, jungle is my worst role, Humanist.
Exactly, that's probably your main problem at this point. We'll work on that later, that's another topic, another time. Right now, I mean, NRG, they could be trying to draft for third place match right now. We don't know. There's a lot of damage coming out. No, I mean my kid, but honestly, we still have a match on our hands here. And while Baron has incredible damage and high mobility, and he's incredibly hard to lock down and probably the better player, they still have a chance. Vonsi jumps in, Yummy Catnip Frenzy, Lightning Team melted. And, well, there used to be an Idris there. There's not anymore. Once he respawns in about 12 seconds, they're going to have an opportunity where maybe they can get out on the map and get into the brush and surprise these guys, but I just don't know what else they can do.
I love how Humanist is just thinking of things to say that, you know, it's like they can maybe come back in, they can maybe walk out of their base and not get killed in the first 3 seconds. It's a real maybe here for NRG.
I bet if he stayed on the healing platform and just got trickle gold for his next, like, 2 items, they'd have a chance.
They're still going up against the Baron, who is a monster in the late game as well. And Best Chuck, one of the best carries in North America at this point as well. You know, positionally, very rarely going to get caught out. So dependable as a laner. I mean, just Vonsi, though, is absolutely on fire. He's been a monster this season. I can't wait for what is inevitably, you feel, going to be that matchup of this week's VG8 between C9 and TSM. It is going to be monstrous. And C9 will be looking for revenge because TSM did beat them in that first week.
Dang, dude, firing shots at NRG, it's already in the finals. Well, we'll see. I don't know about that. Yummy Catnip Frenzy from downtown lands onto Juan. Juan, you gotta get out of here, bud. Shimmer Strike buys a little bit of time. He's trying to kite back, but he's dead. Lightning T getting trolled out as he can't hit the Malice and Verdict. You gotta get out of here, bud. Best Chuck. Jump Jets back to get the lane farm because, hey, why not? Just max efficiency. Can't blame the guy for that. And once again, Team Solo Mid taking another fight. 7-1, 9.5 minutes in. And big net worth advantage as well. These guys aren't even thinking about cracking. This is one of those games where Team Solo Mid's like, yo, like we could push, but like we also kind of want to wait for the Kraken, but I could cook a pizza by the time Kraken's gonna spawn.
It's 10. Can you believe it's only 10 minutes into the game, Humanist? And it feels like it's much later because of how far TSM have pushed up NRG here, all the way up to their choke point turret. The CS differences between Vonsi and Lightning T, they tell the story of the game. It was almost double a moment ago, now 20 or so. That is a massive advantage for Vonsi to have in that jungle, as well as the 2-level advantage that he has maintained since level 4. Just massive advantages for Vonsi, and all gained in part due to their early rotations and the pressure that FlashX put on at level 1. It was all snowballed from that position, and that's so beautiful about Vainglory. You can make a play at level 1 that can help you snowball the game and maintain an advantage for you across the board.
Yeah, my question though is like, how much are NRG? Obviously, I don't know. I'm just speculation here. Are playing against TSM as far as scrims or practice or whatever? Because like Flash made the same play a couple times in a row, and if they were gonna rotate as 3, I think they should have just dropped someone down behind them. It would have been an easy kill onto the Adagio. I think even with the boots. Yeah. Because he took so much damage there. You saw when they poked him in that first rotation, but you know, just speculation at this point. NRG.
I think they. Sorry, I think they thought the presence of 3 would be enough to ward Flash off. Like, they rotated as a team, so Flash was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't take this because there's 3 members there. Shaq's so scared of that. Like, he knows his limitations on Adagio, and he played it so perfectly, Humanist.
So much perfection. Flash is just a beautiful mind, really. That weapon blade to start plus the boots. I mean, who thinks of something like that?
Flash X, apparently.
Flash X, apparently. Well, Best Chuck jumps forward, 529 damage on that attack onto Juan. Juan's going to go ahead and get healed up by that sigil. Very nice amount of healing coming out. It doesn't come out as fast as that damage is coming out of Best Chuck. Best Chuck really respecting Juan. He's really just not moving forward here. TSM kind of slow rolling this one. Are they going to move back and just do like a surprise attack out of this brush? Please tell me they do that.
They still need to be careful of the fact that Best Chuck has got very little defensive itemization. He can still be burst quite easily here by NRG, especially on Hernandez with this double items that he's picked up. So they do still have to respect what NRG can bring to the table. The Chakram, you see, took about 1/5 of HP away, 1/6 of HP away from Best Chuck. So, you know, it's not something that they can take lightly here.
They can't take it lightly here. As they move forward, once he's going to take the backs, a little extra money in his pocket. TSM are rich right now, filthy rich. I mean, are you excited with what's happening? Is this just the clean play?
I mean, this is what I expected from this game, though. I mean, we talked about it before. TSM and C9, I feel like a country mile ahead of most of the opposition in North America right now. They make it look that way anyway, with the way that they play. It's just so clean in the early game, and again, especially the captains, you know, FlashX and Gabe, some of their early game plays that help facilitate their junglers. It's just so good. Such good presence of mind as well.
Alright, well, presence of mind for Vonsi to move in onto Lightning T. That's a pretty good target. Lightning T will get healed up, but burst down. They're able to take out Best Chuck, trade it for Lightning T. Now, Juan doing his best to trade. The Chakram's going to come through. Can he stay alive? It's Vonsi and Juan who can get the damage out. They're burning down Gift of Fire. Flash X will get the kill. Of course, Flash comes through. What a god. Bradley gonna do his best, but Vonsi's like, oh, I actually know where you're gonna go. I'm thinking 3 steps ahead of you, and you're dead. That's an ace for Team Solo Mid.
That was still close, though, Humanist. Look at the way that NRG approached that fight. They went directly to Best Chuck, knowing that they had the best opportunity to blow him up. As soon as Lightning T, focused by Vonsi, he jumps on the sigil and runs directly at Best Chuck, combined with Juan Hernandez. But at this point, it was similar to what we saw yesterday. You leave a Koshka with a Broken Myth and an Aftershock, you leave her alone in a fight, she will rip you to pieces when she builds up those Broken Myth stacks. And that's a testament to how far TSM is ahead. You take out their late... Vonsi still cleans up the rest of the fight. You know, that's catch-22 for NRG. You feel like you want to burst Best Chuck, but if you leave Vonsi alone while you're bursting Best Chuck, Vonsi kills your entire team.
Yeah, I mean, if they play that a little differently, I think it honestly could have gone the other way. Which makes you wonder, like, was TSM getting a little loose with that fight? Or did NRG just outplay them? Arcane Passage forward to the Drifting Dark as well. Lightning T is going to hang back as he throws out the Malice of Verdict. It is Juan on the front side. He's going to get Best Chuck. He's still alive, actually. Koshka will be able to find the damage. And it's Flash. It's going to get the kill. Lightning T is going to go down. And once again, it's just kind of same old story. Bradley, last man standing. Bradley goes down. Another ace here for Team Solo Mid. And Kraken will be out on the map shortly here. But how about another gold miner?
I mean, exactly the same story as the last fight there, Humanist. It was like a deja vu fight.
Collected.
NRG know that they can burst out Best Chuck. Best Chuck has got 0 defense. This is often what you see on a Baron. Baron does not consider defense, as he likes to go towards 4 items as quickly as possible in terms of those offensive capabilities. But Von C, untouched. It's still very close fight, Humanist, you feel, for the most part. But Von C, untouched, goes straight in, just blows up everybody because he's untouched throughout the fight.
Don't touch Von C.
It's pretty much what I said, yeah.
Flash has Shatter Glass, so that's pretty
exactly, yeah. He picked that up as well. And it, boosts his ability to deal damage to Gift of Fire and Agent of Wrath, but also adds a little bit extra to his healing. I think the Adagio's got a better scaling with health on his healing, but increases the damage potential with the Agent of Wrath as well, which is very important for Von C specifically because of the attack speed that he's got when he's using that Yummy Catnip Frenzy and the Twirly Death. He just jumps in, gets a couple of big basic attacks with Agent of Wrath, and very important for Von C's dueling potential if Best Chuck's getting focused.
Absolutely, those basics are so buffed up between the Twirly Death and of course Agent of Wrath. Now Bradley moving forward, he tries to get in there, but it takes so much damage right off the bat. Interesting engage. Well, they actually put Best Chuck to sleep, and they're gonna take him out. NRG are winning this fight so far. Von C taking damage now. This is the best fight NRG has had so far. They're gonna take Von C down as well. And NRG, what's up, buds? Flash, throw a flare, because that's about all you could do there. NRG, they're gonna take Kraken as well. What a turnaround.
I mean, we just talked about the fight that NRG had been playing. They are playing it so well. Bradley's like, they know the only way to get a man advantage, which despite gold leads will be able to net you basically an advantage in a team fight, because you obviously, like I said, you have a man advantage by just barreling in onto Best Chuck, who does not have any defense, which by the way, he has now bought defense. It's so easy for them to blow him up. And then Von C slept up, didn't do what he was able to do in all the fights previously, which was build up those broken myth stacks and then become a nuisance.
The sleep was so good. They're gonna block off the YCP as Lightning T kites back, but Von C is there, able to take him out. Juan Hernandez with the Shimmer Strike over the top. He'll go down, 464 damage coming out of your Baron. Arcane Passage, Von C takes the Wild Ride. He's got the move speed. Twirly Death's there, 1 basic, 2 basics. 3. Oh, it's actually not going to be enough there. Oh, Bradley tries to just bounce. It's not going to be enough. Not going to be enough in the end. Von C, actually, he's going to stay around and take the Crystal Sentry out while his teammates take down the Kraken. So they get some more gold, but NRG, I mean, they get a little bit off the map here. This is about the best they've done.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a little bit back in their back pocket, but again, TSM realized that if they can get a bit of damage down with Best Chuck before he gets focused, that was a fight that they were happy to take. And it needs to be TSM looking for an aggressive move and then a surprise counter engage from NRG to catch Best Chuck NA off guard, because both the times they took out Best Chuck NA, they kind of caught him off guard. I don't know whether that's happened enough now for Best Chuck NA to very unlikely for him to be caught out, but it worked twice. You have to feel that it'll be very difficult to make that work again for NRG, because Best Chuck NA is now kind of tuned into the fact that he has become a major target for a sort of almost a barrel roll in from Bradley and Juan Hernandez using that portal from Lyra.
Oof.
He also picked up the coat of plates as well in that last engage, because he realized how easily he was getting burst by Juan Hernandez. He needs a bit of extra defense, and that coat of plates might be enough to keep him healthy in these fights, or at least healthy enough for Von C to do his work.
I think Best Chuck's just too busy checking his Twitter during these last couple fights. Like, he's just getting bombarded by followers after the shout-out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's just so excited by all the notifications coming through. He's like, oh god, XXX Sniper 420, I just want to focus on the game, stop following me on Twitter, and it's coming up on my screen, I'm just pressing the wrong things.
Yeah. Someone's like, why did Flash build a Shatter Glass? And he's like trying to respond. He goes down, Flash gets another kill. Someone tweets at him, why does Flash have more kills than you? Aren't you even the carry? I'm trying to respond, just fails again. We have to imagine that was what's happening. Best Chuck, uncharacteristic KDA for him here, 248. Of course, Flash picking up where he's left off. NRG, interesting place here. Scoundrel, Arcane Passages, they just trolled out 1C. This Juan Hernandez is in there. It's actually going to be right on to Best Chuck. Best Chuck taking a lot of damage. He will go down. As Von C chasing on to Juan here. Juan's going to go down to Von C. The whole time, Lightning T trying to find the damage, the Malice, the Verdict. He needs the Corrupted Genius. He can't get it. He goes down. Team Solo Mid have advantage as they take this fight 2-1 in their favor.
Every flight is playing out the same here, Humanist. Every single time. Best Chuck NA is just thrown the kitchen sink at by NRG. They just throw everything at him Juan Hernandez and Light and Bradley just barreling in to put pressure on him, but Best Chuck now, with that coat of plates, surviving a little bit longer, and Vonsi able to just negate a lot of the CC coming his way, builds up those broken mid stacks, and does exactly as he has done in some of the previous fights, runs away with the fight because everybody is so busy focusing Chuck that nobody is focusing Vonsi.
But let's be real. Let's be real, okay?
Yeah, okay, I'm real. I'm
Okay,
being
now
real right
Team
now.
Soul admitted winning this game, all right?
Yeah.
You know, we're joking around, we're having fun, blah, 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 all right? We're casting this game. It's a little out of control for NRG. But NRG have won some fights and potentially almost won a couple fights. They are
Absolutely.
so far behind in net worth. It's disgusting, but they're taking fights off TSM.
Tactically,
That
the
is a
way that-
big problem.
Exactly. Tactically, the way that they are approaching these fights is very, very good. Tactically, they have looked fantastic in the way that they've attempted to take fights away from TSM here. Best Chuck and A's now got Metal Jacket. I think it'll be a lot harder for them to make that tactic work.
Rip. No tactics here. Lightning T, he's going to get shot down. And Juan should be going down. I don't think he finds the damage he needs. No, Best Chuck's there. Best Chuck finding the damage he needs. And they just ripped right through. I mean, that was just obvious. That was real obvious. I mean, I guess they didn't have the God's Eye view like we did as spectators, but they just threw Drifting Dark and walked forward there. That was gross.
But also Best Chuck's use of his jump jets there to get out of position, completely juked the entire NRG roster right there. That was important. That was a really important jump from Best Chuck, and that's going to secure the game for TSM. I want to give massive credit to Juan Hernandez, by the way. Humanity, he might be 2-9-3, which looks like a bad score. His use of Idris ultimates this game are some of the best I've ever seen.
Well, you do play with Dowsy quite a bit, so it makes sense. Just
Dowsy's
kidding.
pretty good. Dowsy's pretty good, but
I'm just kidding.
but Juan Hernandez's ultimate use this game, I thought was really impressive. Despite obviously losing, some of the abilities that he managed to dodge, Yummy Catnip Frenzy, he managed to dodge Adagio ultimates in the really key situations. I think he looked really good.